Good evening. I ask you to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Russell.
Present.
Peters. Robinson.
Here.
Hayes.
Present.
Pitt.
Here.
Laser.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Okay, good to see everyone this evening. Have you all had a chance to take a look at the minutes from last meeting? All right, all in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, minutes carry. On to our communication and announcements. We received a request for liquor license at, let's see here, Casey's Marketing Company, and that's doing business as Casey's General Store, and we all know that's the new location there right beside Coghlan. So they do have a request for that, and we would need to take a voice vote to approve that. So all in favor of approving the liquor license for Casey's General Store, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. All right, that carries. Thank you. All right, and we do not have any public hearings this evening. On to audience concerns. We do have a couple tonight, and we will start with Doug Piles. You would please step to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
My name is Doug Piles, 323 Bishop Drive. Any of you know me know that I come whenever I have a concern that I think needs to be addressed for this city. I know you all don't pay any attention to what I say, nor do anything I say does not affect anything you do within it, but I'm going to keep coming, bringing things to your attention. Someday maybe you might take my comments seriously and do something about it. My concern tonight is with regard to the financial condition of this city of London. You people have us so far in debt and owe so many multi-million dollars that it worries me that you're continuing getting loans for more projects. You're just like what Washington, D.C. is doing now. You're spending money when you don't have money. And I reiterate some items here that came to light. The sewage treatment plant did a multi-million dollar upgrade to the sewage treatment plant a few years ago. And I was here when it was presented to council that the new tap fees would pay for this loan. A year and a half later, that did not materialize. That committee came back to the council and said, we cannot make the loan payment this year. You had to raise the rates. So that's the answer to that. But that multi-million dollar project's not been paid off yet, okay? We took out a loan to do all this office remodeling. I don't know what it is now. I think it was around $1.5 million, a loan for that, to remodel this. And I think when you sold the buildings that the city owned, I would be willing to say you probably did not use the proceeds of that to pay down that loan. I'd be willing to bet my Social Security check on that. So we still have that big loan out there. The water plant. Let's talk about the water plant. We spent $9 million out there. We have a loan for $9 million to pay build a water treatment plant and a water tower. We have yet to get the first glass of water out of that water treatment plant after over 2 years sitting idle. We have to make payments on that loan. Like I say, it's around $9 million. And what I foresee, the best knowledge I have, it's going to cost us another $1 million to get that plant up and working, regardless of which answer is an engineered solution to bring that line on, to bring that facility online. There's another $1 million. There's another $9 million we owe money on. You all just approved spending $1.2 million for putting new water meters all through the plant, all through the town. I don't see how that's going to pay for that self. There's another loan you all applied for that. The trash trucks. We borrowed money, took out a loan to buy 2 trash trucks. I don't think anybody was arguing about the need for that. However, that was presented to you, that we would pay for that based upon saving maintenance costs on the existing trucks. You know what? Those existing trucks are still picking up trash in this town. We did not mothball or sell those trash trucks. Okay? The other part of that equation, that sale, was that we were gonna help pay for that loan, that $400 and some thousand, by getting all the commercial contracts. To my knowledge yet, the London trash people have not picked up the first commercial dumpster out here. So, those payments are not being realized to pay off that $400 and some thousand we spent for that. Another loan. We're also buying, the city's also buying a lot of new vehicles, new trucks, new dump trucks, new trucks for the water department and the trash department. We bought a new tractor. You know, you're spending all this money. That bothers me. We buy new police cruisers every year. We have to have new police cruisers. Now, the thing that I understand is coming up is a proposal that you're all gonna vote on tonight regarding the traffic lights in this town. We're gonna get a loan to spend a couple $100,000 by retrofitting and tearing all the traffic lights out and putting all new ones up. My question is, was it considered the fact that you could take, a proposal would be, is to take the existing traffic lights down, refurbish those, put new lenses in them, put LED lights in there, and put them back up. No, we're gonna tear it all out, and the controllers aren't working. The controllers appear all to be working to me, so I'm not sure that that was even considered as a thing to improve the use of those traffic lights, but that seems to me that would be an equitable thing. Why do you have to tear everything out and replace it all new, plus eliminate all these lights that we're gonna eliminate? There's another loan, more money being spent. The last concern I have is we are doing absolutely nothing in this town with regard to road repairs. Our road repair program is tar and chips. We got roads that are desperately in need of repair in here. To the best of my knowledge, I see no money being spent for that. Take a ride out on Kenny Boulevard in front of the high schools and look at that curb and gutter concrete is totally deteriorating. We failed to sue the company that put those in for not putting in the right materials. It's still sitting out there. Drive and look. They're totally deteriorating. To the best of my knowledge, there's no plan for doing that repair. We're not going to fix roads. We're not going to fix that out there, but we're going to buy all new traffic lights. That doesn't seem to be good judgment on using the money. I don't like to see this town so far in debt for all these obligations you're obligated to with long periods of time of payoff. The last thing I want to address is how you all handled that 1.5% levy, which was passed to support the fire department. That levy was approved by the voters in this town for a 1.5% income tax to totally put the fire department on their total control, not taking any money out of the general fund. That was voted on and approved. Little did anyone know, including myself, who seems to keep myself pretty well informed, that the 0.5% credit for people working out of this town, paying income taxes in Columbus, whatever, got a 0.5% credit on here. They'd still pay the 1%. Little did I know, or did anybody ever tell me, that was a council action. It was not part of the levy. You lied to the voters. The voters thought it was 1.5 and they're going to have credit. That isn't what happened. The levy wording says it'd be a 1.5, and council passed a resolution to forgive 0.5%. And council last year, in recent last few months, voted to rescind that 0.5% credit. So you wound up giving the fire department now a nice big increase in income. That's lying. I would worry about the next time, and I see it coming if you're not able to handle the financial obligations. I see the request for another income tax for operation for the city of London. And I'm going to tell you what, people are going to question how truthful you are about that levy as compared to what happened the last time. Those are my concerns. I'm concerned about the financial health of this city and meeting all of our financial obligations, and we're going to keep taking more loads for more projects instead of addressing what we have need for. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Doug Piles, we do have some representatives from different departments that you spoke about. Would the street department like to speak towards the Kenny Boulevard project and the current condition of the roads thing?
I was actually done in March with this department, done quite a few years back, and in the past administration, so I had nothing to do with Susan anyway. And we have actually looked at trying to do the project, but the money that is there, the state don't just let you move it around like you.
All right, and those, the traffic lights. Now, don't those boxes have to be totally refitted in order for the lights to work? Eh,
A lot of the boxes we have are from the seventies and the eighties. So LED and those do not compatible with one another. So the jets, the box would stay, the jets would come out, and the jets would clean.
And I do know with the water plant that we have worked extensively with the EPA trying to get that up and running. That was one of my huge concerns was that water plant. And you know, I'm familiar with the legislation, and when that all went through, I was not on council at that time, but I do remember we had pretty healthy discussions about that whole process and whether that was going to happen or not. But we are currently working with the EPA to hopefully get that up online, because we do need that. We need that plant up and running, most
I'm
definitely.
gonna take an extra $1 million for their solution, their engineered solution, that the EPA is gonna push on you. It's gonna require a building addition and to buy all the equipment, if you take the engineered solution from EPA.
Okay. Anthony?
Yeah, okay, Doug. So always appreciate you coming. And I'll try to answer. I don't have an answer for everything you stated, but I do have quite a few answers. So as far as the water plant goes, you know, a lot of the things have just been the cards we've been dealt with, okay? The water plant's a mess. Pat, or I said administration, our president, other council members, and then with BPU are working as fast. I think things are moving faster than they probably have ever for years on being able to get that fixed. To be honest with you, probably $1 million is probably not going to fix that problem, okay? What we did, COVID hit, that caused us a lot of problems. We realized that we got to get it figured out, so we literally called every day. I know Henry got a hold of Steve Stiver's office, Pat was making calls, we were making calls, and BPU made calls to get the project moving along as fast as possible, because if we wouldn't have, we still wouldn't even have the equipment that we have today. With the testing, we're actually getting pretty good results, so we're moving along. But yeah, it's going to be, an engineer office is going to have to come in once the EPA confirms with us of what it's going to take to fix it. As long as we continue to get the results we get, we're headed toward a solution. Then if, you know, then the engineer's got to come in, they got to tell us, and you know, Doug, yeah, it's not going to be pretty on what it's going to take to fix. I can already tell you that. Okay. That's the hand I got dealt on becoming a city councilor and working with the BPU. As far as the trash trucks go, so we did the loans. We got extremely low interest rates. Right now, I've already been watching. We are ahead financially with the new trash trucks already. Right now, if we wanted to get a new trash truck, which we probably will, I probably will give you guys a heads up now, start pushing for another new truck by the end of the year. Financially, we're able to afford that pretty easily. You'd be surprised. The other trucks, the commercial accounts, we have picked up additional commercial accounts. Les has been doing a really good job. We have to get the dumpsters that we have to be able to be accessed by front-loading dumpsters. So there's a cost there. So we don't want to go out and spend money, you know, because I'm like you, I want to be conservative on our finances, and I don't even like getting loans. But I understand sometimes we don't want to exasperate all of our funds that we have in the bank when, you know, when we have different banks that are willing to work with the city to give us unbelievably low interest rates. So Les has been doing a great job. He's getting the new dumpster set up. We're trying to look into a retrofit kit. to try to save in cost and what we're going to roll out with a plan eventually for our businesses, okay? So we are picking up commercial accounts. We have, he has already started buying dumpsters and getting those ready. As far as the water department goes, right now he's set up to where don't quote me 100%, but I very believe that he could pay cash for that van, okay? The issue with that again is that would exasperate his accounts. And so if we take it for a couple of years, I think that's smart on their part to take a very low interest rate where we have very little cost. Originally, when they approached me, they priced out 2 vans. They're able to do 2 vans. I went over the budget myself. I'm not sure if this went to the finance committee. If it did not, that is my fault. We were at the meeting. I got my numbers mixed up. They asked me if they could buy the truck without coming to us. I thought it was $50,000, but it was obviously $25,000. Anything over $25,000, they do have to bring to us. So that's my fault. But I've personally looked into that. So at least I can speak for my departments and what I'm over and what I've been looking at. They're doing financially very well. I try to get them with the trash trucks. Doug, just so you can see how I am, originally, they weren't even going to put any money down when they purchased the trash trucks. I can't think of the exact number. It was over $100,000 we put down when we purchased them. So that way, we're always ahead financially on all our loans, on any loans that I'm dealing with, okay? And I think that's unfortunately about all I can answer for you.
I'd like to, as far as the levy, I was conflicted myself when we discussed it in the finance committee of, even though most of us here weren't a part of the council when that was done,
I don't think any of us were.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were on council when they made
But
that
I
agreement.
felt we were doing a bad thing by breaking a promise, even though it wasn't us as the city, but it was the city, and we are now the city. But the point was brought up, is it fair that the people that work in the city and live in the city, that they're paying more towards the city for services, for the same services that people that don't live in that don't work in the city are getting? So by weighing those two facts, to me, it felt like it was a better thing for the citizens was to make it equal, so that everybody paid their 1.5% for the same services that they receive as their neighbor, who lives in London, or who versus the people that work outside of London. So that was my kind of deciding factor, and I did mull it over for a long time. And then the traffic lights, like Bill was saying, we looked at or discussed, what about when we do away with some of these lights, maybe save the parts, because Bill's having to go and buy like other people's trash parts and bringing them in and trying to make them fit our lights. They're not, and it's not going to keep going forever. So we'd had numerous complaints, both from residents and visitors even, about how hard the lights are to see in some parts. And so that, to me, became a safety issue. We don't want anybody to get in a crash just because they can't see what the light is, whether it's red or green. I've been in one of those crashes in a different city, so to me, it all boils down to the safety of our citizens, and that's why we decided to do this project. We didn't see a way that we could improve those lights. Even if we had all the money in the world, we couldn't find a way to improve them the way they are.
Now also, Bill, with those lights, we can't find those parts now, right? Or you can't?
Last time I bought light bulbs was November, December, and the light bulbs, they're actually, it is a light bulb. It costs
And I've received several complaints as well, how dim the lights are and how dangerous it is. I actually have a business myself, and one of my teachers got in an accident at lunch, and her car was totaled because the person couldn't see the light, and they hit her, and she hit someone else, but totaled her car, and I think totaled someone else's, then that was a direct result of not being able to see the lights. And I'm sure you noticed too, driving around, it is very hard, especially if you're headed west. You might have to look through the side of your visor or go, wait for the other person to go, just because they are very hard to
My
see.
question about the levy was how it was handled, not the amount or the justification, but how the 0.5% and the 1.5% was handled by the council. That questions your credibility, because when people voted for it, they voted for this 1.5%, when the 0.5% credit, the 0.5% credit was council action. That's where you deceived the people who were voting for it. That was my concern, not
Well, I
about
think
the
we've gotten it back
how
to,
it's handled.
have we not gotten it back to what has been voted on? Isn't that what we just rescinded back to?
Yes.
Exactly what was approved in okay.
Yeah. I mean, the levy, when it was voted on, I don't think it was in the levy about the 0.5%. So, I mean, most of us didn't even know that another council had proposed something like that until way later, because it didn't read 0.5%. So, I'm not saying a council never said that.
I might add, because I do other people's taxes on the side, we're not the only municipality that's given away that tax credit.
Yeah.
Others have done that too. Money, especially this time with COVID happening, works slow down and so forth. Municipalities then take the squeeze on finances.
You got anything
and
for
they have to
finance?
send their increases. So we're not the only municipality.
And Columbus was not willing to reciprocate our generosity that people, I think it was generous, to be happy for the years that they did have it.
I'd like to speak on police cruisers. Police cruisers run 24/7, 365 days a year. They're hardly ever turned off. They wear out. The officer's safety is the utmost concern. They run hard, they run slow, they sit, they idle. It takes an enormous toll on the cars. You just can't keep driving them and driving them. You get 90,000 on one, they're shot. I think we trade them every 2 years. We do like a 2-on-2 basis. I think last year we had to buy a new one because one was involved in an accident and was totaled. So we had to buy a new one for that one. I'm going to speak to something else here. We've got fire trucks. I've got a pumper, 2006, got 69,911 miles on it. I got another pumper, a 1998. It's got 58,709 miles on it. Got a utility truck here, a 2008, 136,710 miles. I have another pumper, a 1987. It's got 82,789 miles on them. Those trucks have been around for 20, 25 years. They're not in the best of shape. You have to, past administrations have just kind of kicked the can down, kicked the can down, kicked the can down. So we've got the can now. We can't kick the can anymore. And we're going to have to spend money. There's things that have to be done here in this city. And I know it's frustrating. We get frustrated with it also. But you just cannot keep kicking the can down the road and not want to create waves and not spend money. You have to spend it sometimes. That's my take on it.
And with the fire trucks, that also goes into your insurance rating for the city as to how old your fire trucks are. So a higher insurance rating drops your insurance payments for house insurance, just like how many fire hydrants you have and those type of things.
Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. Okay, on to our next audience concern, Greg Eads. Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Greg Eads, 21 Westmore Drive. This last discussion brings up a couple other points that I wasn't going to discuss. First of all, I don't believe a levy was ever passed for the income tax. That was a council action. There was a discussion to put it on and have a vote, but that was pulled back, and that was the city council action specifically. That was 1% or 1.5%, raising it to 1.5%. We had the 1%. And then the council just enacted to reduce that and take away that credit. The second thing, I hear many people talk about past administrations. I don't know that that's necessarily a true statement, that it was just the administration. City council is the one that controls the money. City council has also kicked the can down the road on many things. And it wasn't that long ago that there were decisions being made to lay off police officers because of financial things. So when you're laying off people, you obviously don't have the finances to do things even if you want to. I came here today to talk or ask about the removal of the traffic lights and also the ordinances. Has there been a chance for the public to comment on these announced changes? Where did the data come from that helped form the decisions to remove these specific lights? I remember that about 6 years ago, there was an announced process to turn off certain lights, turn other lights to flashing. I've not seen any lights with different signals, nor any announcements that the city was considering making changes. What is the city going to do to make it safely possible to cross busy streets? For example, how is someone going to safely cross West High Street, which means crossing 4 lanes of traffic? Or how will someone cross Main Street during the busy times or after a train has held up traffic and now we have a lot of northbound traffic on South Main Street? I have trouble imagining how someone with a baby stroller or a small child will be able to cross safely. For that matter, if you can't run, you may not be able to cross safely. There is a lady on West High Street that I see every single day. She's out, she has a walker. I just can't imagine her trying to cross the street either without having lights or signals. Are crosswalks going to be created where none exist now? An example is Westmore and High Street. There is no crosswalks, nor any way to stop traffic because there is not a button to push to change the light currently. That is also the same at High and Cherry. There's no crosswalks nor a way to cross. Also, at Westmore, it will be more dangerous due to the amount of items on the east corner that currently obstruct the view of the westbound traffic. Many of the residents in the Flax Addition will tell you they do not currently make a turn as soon as the light changes, as the speed of the traffic and the amount of the vehicles that run the light is dangerous. It seems to be prudent to have a light to slow down or stop traffic as it enters the city. The lights at Main and Lincoln and Center and Maple both seem to serve this purpose, and the light at Center and Maple also helps with the obstructed view. When we discuss obstructed views, with the angled parking on South Main Street, it is generally a good idea to watch for the light, and then when it changes so that it's red, to slowly back up and hope that the obstructed view that was caused by parked vehicles did not hide a vehicle that was coming. With removal of the traffic lights, it will make backing out of parking spots more dangerous due to the speed of traffic at that time. These obstructions will also affect pedestrians as they will have to enter into the street in order to see around parked vehicles. Overall, I applaud the efforts of the city to improve traffic flow. I have a friend who has to go through 5 or 6 lights to get home every single day, but I worry about the safety of the residents and the visitors who try to cross the streets at the busiest times of the day. When I consider these things, I feel that the drivers in London are not used to stopping for people crossing the street unless it's at a light. However, when I think of a city or a town like Yellow Springs, which is much more congested with foot traffic, it seems that the drivers in that area are much more courteous and cautious, and the crosswalks have safety precautions in place. So instead of creating a real-life version of the old arcade game Frogger, I hope the city has fully considered the safety of the pedestrians and the motorists that travel within London every day. That's that point. For the second point, I would like to address the ordinances you're about to see, 144 and 144-21, which is the ordinance creating the issuance of bonds to pay for the traffic lights. Section 5 of that reads, in part, this will be in addition to all other taxes, a direct tax annually. Said tax shall be and is hereby ordered computed, certified, levied, and extended upon the tax duplicate and collected by the same officers in the same manner, and at the same time the taxes for general purposes for each said years are certified, extended, and collected. So it reads as it's issuing a bond when in fact it looks like it's a tax, and you're taxing the people once again. According to the published article in the Madison Messenger, there's going to be 16 or 18 lights that are going to be done at a cost of $35,000 a light. The total estimated cost was $560,000 to $630,000, not the $950,000 that's being asked for in the ordinance. Why is there such a discrepancy? I also question why this ordinance is raising $950,000 while Resolution 148-21 only authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract not to exceed $900,000 to purchase the new lights. 145-21 will also raise $475,000 for a fire truck, and it has the same issue as the other because it only authorizes the Safety Service Director to contract for $440,000. I don't understand why your ordinances don't match up on the price. I question why this new tax needs to be an emergency ordinance, or the purchase of the lights need to be an emergency ordinance. I don't believe there's been any public discussion about any of these things. I don't understand the need to make these things an emergency and pass them without further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me?
On the regards,
Yeah,
okay.
and I can start by, these things have been discussed in our committees, which they are discussed in committees first, before they come to council. So they've been to the Public Safety Committee and Public Service, and would you
And
like to?
Finance.
And Finance. So all of those are public meetings that are posted where people can come and participate in the discussions. Carla, would you like to?
Yes, there is a study. The state did a study on traffic lights in our town, and they determined that the only traffic light we need is the one at Main and High.
And that's it.
That we should get rid of every single other traffic light in the city, and that we cannot get any kind of grant money or anything from the state because of that report that says we only need the one traffic light and to get rid of all the rest of them. So, and we are trying to save a little money versus, the ones that we feel are the least dangerous to take out, versus spending, and we looked at originally 35,000 a light, but we're looking at it potentially could be 45,000 a light. So we'd rather borrow extra and then just pay it off with that if we have left over, versus not borrowing enough and not being able to finish the job.
And we also up the amount, because we realize that we may pull a light, and then maybe after time, we'll see that wasn't a good decision, because we only know what is good until it takes place. So we cushioned it, so if we have to put a light in, say like at Union. I question Union Street. I really think there at Union, where McDonald's is, that we may need a light there. And I'm concerned about that one. And also am concerned about being only one light on Main Street. I think they may go a little fast from High Street to Center Street, which could be a problem. So we may need to maybe put a light back in at Second or First. And we won't know that until, we get into the trial stage of it. So we cushioned it in case we have to go back and readjust. And because we're quite aware that it's a lot of lights to take out, and we don't, and things are coming up. And, well, actually, I don't know how we would put it out to the public to just get their opinions, and because we got no opinions, concerns until it got to be legislation.
Right, because we did meet in the committees, though.
Yeah,
Where
and-
it's open to public discussion.
And I don't know.
And as, you want to?
It is it was in the messenger of what lights were to take out. So, I mean, we do have the public forum after that has been published.
After it's
Come here
legislation.
and express which lights may or may not need to be taken out. We're open for discussion. I mean, this isn't a finalized, these lights are going out. We are open to any discussion from anyone to say, I think this is a good idea, I think this is a bad idea. And then we can make our decision. We don't need to vote on it and pass it tonight. We are open to listening to everyone, give their advice and go from there. But it was published in the Messenger of what lights we were targeting taking out, but it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we are going to take these lights out. So,
Right, and they're also, once those lights, we would take any type of action on those, there is a process that we would take, and Bill can explain how we would let you know which lights are.
It has to be posted at each intersection.
30 days.
This signal will be changing in it's either 30 or 45 days. We noticed that this signal's going to change.
Yeah,
After the time period, we talked about taking the flash,
Mhm.
putting that option, or we talked the option of just bagging them up for right now, trying it for a period.
Right.
See what happens.
And in regards to the amounts of the
Yeah, we can
the bond,
think of that.
Rex can definitely explain the amounts and how those work.
So
how that math
we'll talk on that. So the first thing is about public discussion. That's what we're doing right now. I mean, all our meetings are public meetings. They're out there. We put them out on when and where they are. The Messenger does a great job. Most everyone gets those newspapers. Our email addresses, our cell phones are readily available with any questions or concerns. And also, it's London, so most people know where everybody works or knows them somehow and can get a hold of them. So, with there being said, there's been no public discussion. This is the public discussion. And I want Rex to just touch on a couple of the other items.
Yeah. Well, the issue with the loan amounts being more than what we're entering into contract. Anybody that gets a loan, there's loan origination fees and so forth in there. The loan broker that's working with us wants to set that so that we have it covered. He doesn't want to make it 920,000 and it be 921. We can't do anything because the amounts don't match. So he bumped it up so that it's 950, not to exceed that, so that we've got it covered, so that the loans can be done and the loan originations can be handled. It's not going to be 950,000. It's just there as a number not to exceed. The price and then therefore the price of the project is lower because that's all we're going to pay for. So the loan origination fees are going to make it more than 900,000. Greg, you bought stuff. You buy something for $100,000. You ain't going to pay $100,000. The bank's going to charge you some fees. They're going to put that in there and they put it in with the loan. So it's going to be more than that. So that's why the amounts don't match up exactly. Also, the section that you talked about the tax, that's how the loan's going to be paid for is through taxes. That's how we get our money is through taxes. So they put that in there that's how the loans will be paid for is through our tax mechanism. That's what it's referencing. There's no additional taxes or anything with that.
But I came back up to address this part of what you guys are discussing here. I didn't really throw an objection about lights specifically. I'm concerned about the safety, and no one's talking about the safety moving forward. You're just talking about the lights. I'm concerned about how the people are going to be safe moving forward. That was my biggest concern.
Well, I thought they,
I'll address some of that.
I was gonna say, I thought you-
Number one, I used to live on Westmore, and the light would be green, and I would go to pull out and about got killed 3 times. And when I was on council, I was adamant, let me finish, that needed to be taken out because people run that red light all the time. And when you have a green light, you have the false security that you can go protected. But I wasn't. So I felt like it would be better if you had a stoplight and then we forced people to look both ways, make sure nothing's coming before we go with a stop sign. And then the crosswalks, if I'm going to cross the street and I come up and there's no light there, it's just a stop sign and I got 4 lanes I got to cross, but I got to walk down another block and there's a red light where I'm protected, I'm going to go down there where the red light is, Greg. You do that in any city. That there's not necessarily street lights at every crosswalk. If you don't feel protected, you go down to the street where there's a light and you cross there.
So you would expect someone to walk from Main and High to Center Street to cross? Because there's not going to be a light down South Main Street.
Yes, yes, there is. The discussion is taking out every other one. So there would be a light at Main and High. there would be a light at Madison. There would be a light at Walnut and.
On High Street.
Okay. And then on Main Street, we will take out Fourth, and then there will be Main and High. We will take out Second and leave First.
Nah, maybe.
I
thought First was coming out.
Take out First.
Yeah.
We've talked about it both ways.
Oh.
Nothing, that's what I said, there's nothing definite.
Yeah, there's nothing set in stone on this yet.
Mr. Hitt discussed it at finance, that that's how he would use First Street, is to where it's where he tax that. So we had discussed the option of flashing it, we discussed taking it out. There's nothing in writing, it's just the suggestions that was sent out.
And then lastly, the reference to the items being listed as emergency. I've been able to, the loan advisor that we're using that's getting this loan for us and working up all the paperwork to get it, he's got 75 banks that he's working with. And he said, if you combine your loans together, you typically get a better rate. Anything over $1 million, you get a better rate. So I put these two together, and this is totally, we don't have to pass it tonight or whatever, but when you do, you got 30 more days if you don't have the emergency clause on there that you gotta wait. There's some stipulations in the purchase of the fire truck where we can save some money if we pay for it sooner in the contract as opposed to waiting till later. So that's the only reason it's in there. If council deems not to pass it sooner, then we won't get those savings. It's not the end of the world if we lose those savings, but I'm trying to save as much money as I possibly can.
We can also look at, everyone, if you guys watch the interest rates, we know what happened. We know what happened at the beginning of the year. They went up, and then they kind of leveled and went down a little bit. And if you're watching interest rates, they're climbing. And every month, they go higher. So,
Who's paying for the fire truck?
the fire department?
Yeah, they paid their
Not coming
portion.
out of the general fund?
No, sir.
No, they pay their portion of
They'll
that.
be paying for, the loans will be gone together to acquire the money, but he's separating the amortization schedule out to where they will pay for their loan portion. The street
All right.
will pay for
And
Franklin, you
the
had a
discount, a discount amount that we will realize on that, it's about $8,700.
Yeah, so like I said, it's not the end of the world if we don't do it, but
Right.
$8,700 is $8,700.
Correct, yeah, and there are several different options that we could take, but that one is pretty good with the discounts that are in there. And all these things that we're talking about, we've talked about extensively in the committee meetings. Like I said, finance, they've been the public service, public safety meetings, which is always open, and like we said, we are discussing these things now, and we're glad to, because you may not have been able to make it to some of the other meetings that we have, but we're glad that we're able to discuss these now, and you're able to bring your concerns, and I hope that we're able to answer some of your
Yeah, Marilyn, what's your
concerns. Okay.
Are you planning on doing all these lights at the same time, or you want to do one and then another, or how are you, are you gonna phase them in separately, or just like bam, all of them's gonna be one day?
Mhm.
Yeah, instead of taking the lights out.
Yeah.
It has, before it goes anywhere, it has to be bid out, everything.
Mhm.
I just thought if you did, you wake up one morning and then all these lights are gone.
Well,
No.
no.
Yeah.
It'll say, new traffic pattern coming, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you have to put that up for 40 or 45 days. And then, if they're still working on getting the other lights up, you might blink them for a while just to let people start getting used to what it's actually going to look like. And then, just like any big project, they'll have to come in and work away throughout all of it to get them all.
Yeah, because we definitely want to keep in mind the safety of it, like Greg said, we want to keep in mind the safety of it. So it's not something we're just going to roll out, because that could be a disaster if we just roll that out. But I'm sure Bill he'll put a plan together so that we roll that out in different phases within a time frame. And like you said, as we take out lights, we may see that doesn't work. That's not a good idea. Maybe we might need to put a flashing light in or go ahead and take it out totally. But we won't know until we actually go forward with that, because we want to do it as safe as we possibly can.
May I ask one
Yes,
quick follow-up
Mr. Eads.
question? You keep talking about being in committee, and I understand a lot of things go through committee. Are those videotaped for anyone to watch? All of your committee meetings, are they videotaped for anyone to watch?
Those are, we have the minutes for those, and those
the
are
minutes.
open for public.
Okay, and where are those located in case somebody wants to read the minutes?
And those minutes are in the auditor's office?
In the, come in and ask, I'll give it to you. They're in the conference room.
Okay, so there are minutes available to go
Right,
back.
are they in the
for any-
auditor's office or in the
They're in the conference room.
conference? Okay. Oh, okay, kept in the conference room.
Okay, thanks.
Very well.
No, thank you.
All right, any further discussion? All right, and we have one more, audience concern. Tommy Boyd, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 5 minutes, please.
Hello, Tommy Boyd, 48 North Union Street. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's City Council, and thank you for the time to allow me to approach you with a few items. We're driving in New Albany each day to teach. The part that I dread the most is getting home and going through traffic on Lafayette Street. So the first concern I was hoping to talk to you about is the stoplight at the intersection of Sheffield Boulevard and Lafayette Street, at the entrance to Kroger's. This light has a 15-second left turn with 45 more seconds of full green afterwards on Lafayette Street and Sheffield Boulevard. This full man of halted traffic on Lafayette Street backs up cars past Cambridge Drive that are leaving town and back up traffic that is constant large delay, all the way back past AutoZone as well. After noticing this constant large delay, I began timing this light and noticed that on average, cars are done going through that light within 20 seconds. This is a very simple fix to make by altering the light to have only a 15-second left-hand turn and 15 more seconds of full green to give it 30 seconds of overall run time on Sheffield Boulevard and coming out of Kroger's. This should keep traffic moving, but will still allow traffic to be broken up into controllable waves moving in and out of town. I hope this fix can be performed quickly to help keep individuals wanting to move into our great little town. I don't really have anything else really much there. I'll just kind of wait and see what you think, but that's that. The other part that I have is the pipe crossing. Underneath that, they talked about last week, the flooding. I don't know if anyone else went out to check it out, but the issue, because I went out dry, and then after it rained for a bit, I got to walk out there also. And the main issue is that it is full of just back run, everything else that has gone down there. So as soon as it starts filling up, it doesn't have extra space for that water to run down into and actually sit, so it's getting out of their backyards. I don't think you'd have any large medical needs for that thing to fix the pipe. It should be okay, but if you cleaned out the other side that's going into the nature preserve, that'd give you a lot more space to actually have water run into and kind of get it out there if it is.
Where are you talking about?
Over on Center Street and
Street.
the drainage pipe going into the nature reserve.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have concrete on it, that's the good part. I know that's what we were kind of talking about, but it's more of it's just filled up to where it just has a little stream able to kind of run out. And so if you really
Okay.
dug it down, you'd probably have a lot more going down there.
There was a gentleman here last week, or last council meeting, talked about that, and
Oh, yeah.
I think,
Yeah, no concrete on
Okay.
it. That was anyway, and so after that is, seems the traffic lights have been talked about enough, so I don't have much there. I guess the one thing I do have to ask still is, did we ever look at just replacing them with new lights that are the same and LED ones? Trafficlights.com has the same lights for $400, it seems. So we went there and did that. Wiring is pretty much wiring, but,
Well, they're not compatible with
okay,
our
there's
old,
something there.
our antiquated boxes.
The box
Yeah.
that controls it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know if that would help any, maybe switch that and then switch a box if that had any cheaper costs, but that's just make sure
Yeah.
we looked at that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And with that, would we still be able to get the fire truck if we didn't pass the light issue? Because it sort of sounded like we were doing the lights to help the fire truck be passed to be able to be purchased. But,
No, it's two separate issues.
Yeah, two
We
separate
we
issues,
just
but-
looked at, yes, we need both of them, but if we can save a little money
Mm-hmm.
by putting them to get the loans together, then, but one didn't have anything to do with the other.
Right.
and that's why I was
Yeah.
making sure
If we
that
didn't,
the fire truck is still able to be purchased, even if the lights, doesn't
Correct.
pass or
Correct.
something, and that's what.
yeah, it's two separate,
Right.
it was two completely
I wanna make
separate
sure fire trucks
conversations and
all
everything like that.
all good.
Actually, the financing kind of came up after we had decided to do these, with Rex, working with, hard with the people that are doing loans to try to kind of, save every dollar he can. And they're the ones that suggested, hey, why don't you take these two and put them together, and you can save some more money.
Get cheaper
So,
rate.
like, why not? We're doing them both, so why not?
I get that, but, you know, I kind of see, I think a couple things were brought up, that we have money that we're paying for at the moment, it sounds like. And so if we're able to still get one loan without getting that one, it's kind of like saying I'm buying something because there's a 40% sale. Well, if you didn't buy the thing in the first place, you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, that was an afterthought
That's
after
kind of-
both of them were
Yeah.
discussed. And
Only thought with
Yeah.
that was just to make sure that that was
Yeah.
still all right. Last off was curbs and the ramps on corners. Just with hearing the extra money last year, or last meeting that we had for salt and extra building renovations, whose responsibility would it be? Is it the homeowners for curbs? First off, I guess, 48 North Union Street, 1933, because the courthouse burned down is when my house was built, so it's kind of gone. Just the curb next to the street, first off.
Gutter plate on is the property owners.
All right, would that be
Right.
same with the handicap accessible ramps? So all corner properties are on us, the people, to make this town handicap accessible?
Now, the city goes in and puts them in where they have to be handicap accessible. And then it's up to the property owner.
Right.
Did we get a couple of those in this year, or have we gotten a couple of those in this year, or? Yeah, I mean, just kind of saying we have a lot of extra money, it sounded like, and you go down there, there's 4 corners that need it. Kids can't ride bikes around here because they can't go from street to street without going over a curb. And, I'm sorry, I don't even want to get, but I was just saying, you know, I'm kind of curious if there is any plan for that, or if that's actually on me also to redo or pay for when I do my curb next to my house.
Yeah, those curbs are the property owners.
And that's fine, I figured
Yeah,
that one
and,
was.
and
It
like you
was
said, the
ramps
city
that-
puts them in for you, and it's billed on, is it on your water bill? Property tax.
Property tax.
But it is your,
Because, yeah, even across from the post office, and there's a couple corners around here that could use some ramps. So,
So if there's not a ramp, the homeowner would not be required to put in a ramp.
right.
If they could, if they wanted to.
Yes, we are actually getting ready to put one in on South, or North Main Street due to the paving project. Whenever ODOT's involved with a paving project, we must meet all ADA requirements whenever we redo a street.
Okay.
So 56 is scheduled to be redone in 22. We have put ramps in everywhere with the exception of Willis Avenue, and it is scheduled to be put in this summer.
all right. And last, are we able to help fill in any of the potholes over at Kroger's?
Yeah, but we have discussed that.
Take some of this stuff off
Most
of there and
definitely.
just tack some of that on in ourselves?
I think
We are,
the
we are
administration,
working on that very diligently. That's one of my pet peeves. I brought that up at the last council meeting.
Right.
Tossing a bill.
And there is an ordinance that I've been made aware of that the property owner is responsible, and he will be notified to take care of it. I
Yeah.
guarantee.
He has been?
What was
They've been
Okay,
notified.
They have been.
a year or 2 ago, the administration, didn't you guys call them? Because they fixed some of them for
Yeah.
a while after we
Yeah.
had a meeting, so I don't know who told them,
The
but,
ones in front of Kroger's were.
and then
Yeah.
now they've just gotten bad again.
They're just gotten bad. It was a rough one. Just one thing I want to touch on was the flooding on Center that you're talking
Yep,
about.
that's good.
One of the biggest issues, Bill went out and took a look at it, and the beavers are back. And that's what's causing a big part of this issue, is that the beavers are back and they are damming a lot of stuff up. And that's actually on the county ditch maintenance. And once they can get a little bit of drier weather to get back in there, the county's going to go in and knock the dam back down, which will help relieve a lot of that issue.
Is that on the side towards Center Street of the bike path, or on the nature reserve side? That the beavers are-
It's actually clear across the preserve.
Okay.
Preserve was dry a couple months ago. We went in and finally got it dry. When Mr. Wagner came in and said something, I thought it was still dry, because I hadn't been out there, I hadn't driven out there lately.
Okay.
So I drove out there the next day,
And see, I mean, the first time I went out there that night, it actually was able to where the water would be able to go out to it. It was low enough, it's not going back into where they're talking about the flooding. It's just more of, there isn't enough depth for it to drain to. So it's over on that side of Center Street that needs cleared out. That way, just some water can get down there. Yep. Sounds good. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely thank everyone who brought their audience concerns. I hope that you really feel that you were listened to and that we do care what you say. And we are glad that you come to us and bring these different issues. And like I said, it's very important if you do find the time to please meet in our committee meetings. We do have those posted online when those are, because we wouldn't want to bring any type of legislation or anything like that without it being discussed or giving you an opportunity to discuss it. And when you're here in our council meetings, that is a time to discuss it as well. So we appreciate it, and we thank you for being courteous. We thank everyone for, expressing their opinions, and we really appreciate that. And I'm thankful, too, that we had almost everyone here tonight that sits on the committees who had a chance to, express and address the different issues and items that we had. And like I said from the beginning, I'm confident in all of the committee chairs and everyone on the committees that they do a great job, and I think that was shown tonight. And if you do have any further questions or anything, please, don't hesitate to get in touch with us, because we're here for you. Literally, we are here for you. If it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't have anything to do. We'd just be a bunch of people up here sitting behind a desk. So we really appreciate you, so thank you. All right, on to our city official reports.
Committee report.
Or committee reports, okay, I missed that one there. Committee reports, Mr. Smith.
I knew you were going to pick me.
I can start with Ms. Russell.
Uh,
Give you time to find it.
I think I'm all right.
Okay.
So, there was a lot talked about in the last meeting. A lot of it's just been, a lot of things are being repaired. Seems like every department right now is trying to repair something. Update you on, if you remember, I think it was last year, year before, we had the farm science review. We had a tent building put up for biosolids. That's been going pretty well. We're going to start trying to get more people involved, getting that from us. We are having problems with receiving grease. So we're trying to work out, one way to fix it is we raise the price, and then if people don't want to pay the price, then that takes care of our problem. Or looking at, right now weighing what it would cost to make us to be able, we could receive grease well, and it not affect us, versus the revenue and cost. So they're weighing that out right now. I think they're all doing a good job looking into it. And that's about all I have. Really the highlights, other than the trash trucks, they're trying to get them all the badges on them, stuff like that. It'll look really nice, I think. And then, like I kind of mentioned earlier, Les is purchasing the dumpsters. We're trying to get that figured out, how we're going to work with businesses. We did try to look into I don't know if you call it a retrofit kit or an adaptive kit, because the dumpsters that they currently have are made for rear loaders. And so that's why we still have them, because we don't have, we can't use front-loading trucks to go pick up the rear-loading dumpsters. So it has to be a transitional phase of phasing out the dumpsters and then getting them over to the new trucks. So they do try to use them as the least amount possible. The new trucks have been going well. They've had a couple issues. Thankfully, we negotiated. We got every extended warranty that they offered. So we haven't had to pay for anything. It's all been taken care of. Usually they pick it up on a Friday, bring it back to a Sunday night, fixed and ready to go. And then which we'll talk about 14621 when we get there. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Blazer?
No committee meeting since our last council meeting.
Okay. And Mr. Hitt?
I have nothing new. The next safety committee meeting is May 11th at 6 p.m. in the meeting room over here. And everyone's welcome to attend if they want to.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes.
Same thing, safety meeting, May 11th, 6 PM, this conference room right back here. Everybody's welcome to come in if you want to.
Okay. Mr. Robinson?
I attended the public service meeting. So the Parks and Rec, the pool's opening on May 29th. The splash pad's already open. They will run a trial to make sure that everything's working from last year. There was some concrete work down there to fix the ledge. There's a few different groups that are forming there. There will be pool passes available. One thing I do want to bring up is wiffle ball and softball. We always talk about needing things to do here in the city. So far, wiffle ball for the children here in town, no one has signed up. So if you know anyone, get them involved, please. Softball is another one that I always hear every year. Co-ed, there's 2 teams. Men's, there's 0. So May 14th is a deadline on that. We need to make sure we get people in, or they will not be doing it. It's a strict deadline on the 14th. Also, young men and women that are looking to become lifeguards, we need as many as possible. We are going to start doing the training here in town. We are certified by the Red Cross, so we are allowed to do the training here. The biggest thing with lifeguards right now is training, availability to train. So if you know anyone that wants a summer job, sitting by a pool, watching after kids, catching little rays, send them down. Merrimack, there's a lot of exciting things going on there. There's been some equipment being picked out and viewed. That's a project that we're hoping to tackle here soon to make sure kids on the south side have an area to go to. The street department's been very busy. They're doing all kinds of cleanups, fixing the streets, cleaning catch basins. They are putting out, they have a storm sewer project opening. Bill, is that May 25th? It's going in the newspaper on Sunday for bids, to introduce, to sign up for bids. They've just been super busy. There's 3 pages worth of stuff. It's cutting trees, repairing streets, putting up signs, taking care of just about everything. The next public service meeting will be June 3rd at 1 PM. It'll be in the conference room. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mrs. Russell?
I have no committee reports. That we'll just have our finance meeting will be May 10th at 6 PM in the council conference room.
All right. Thank you all. Now on to our city official reports. Mr. Mayor, you have anything?
Yes. Good evening. Thanks to everyone for coming out. Just want to reiterate what Councilman Robinson said about softball and wiffle ball. You know, we hear that a lot. We need things for the kids to do. We need things for adults to do. Well, these things are available. We thought wiffle ball would just take off for the youth. We're hearing that teams are being formed, but no one has actually signed up yet. And we need to make sure that we get those applications in so we can make sure that we have a full league. I want to thank all you guys for coming out. You guys all made some great points, and I think hopefully you were able to get some clarification. It might not have been the clarification you wanted, but tonight council did a wonderful job clarifying. A lot of times we sit here and in the past, it seemed like they kind of want to defer to other people, and council did a wonderful job just knowing the facts, remembering what's going on, and being able to convey that to you guys. So thank you guys for coming out, and great job, council. You guys are on it. The community build for the new Ninja course at Cowling Park will not be this weekend. It was supposed to be this weekend, but because of the rain, Bill was not able to get in there and rip some of the ground out. We didn't want to tear up everything around it to try to dig this out. So the community build for that Ninja course will be on June 4th and 5th. Since the last meeting, we have been very busy, but one thing that's fantastic is we're able to start going to some more functions, right? So through COVID, everything was shut down. There really wasn't a lot of these things going on. So we did have the groundbreaking for the housing and restaurant project, which is out by Bluebird. I was able to sit in on Mrs. Norris's class at London Elementary School. The kids are doing a STEM project where they had to build one of these ultimate obstacle courses that like adults do, and they had to build one, come up with, flags and medals and all this stuff, and it was just great to sit in there and be able to see all their presentations and how much hard work they put into it, and it was just a great day, and they all did a wonderful job. Specialty Outdoors had their ribbon cutting. This is the business that went into the old Kmart building. Wonderful store with a lot of inventory, even through COVID, knowing that we can't get all the inventory we want for businesses, but they sell motorhomes, RVs, tractors, and they even have boats in there. So if you haven't stopped out there yet, just pop in and say hi to them. A great group of people out there. I talked to the owner, and just fantastic. So pop out and say hi. The Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails had their groundbreaking for their mural project that will be going on the bike path, kind of behind M&M Diner right there. Maddox and I were able to attend the mural project, and I think this is just going to be a beautiful staple for the city of London. So Matco and the Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails are teaming up on this project. There's a kind of a blank side of a building where, the windows are covered, and they're going to put murals in these big, huge windows that face the bike path, so when people come through, which I think will just be great, because when people ride their bikes from all over the place, that'll be something that sticks in their mind and say, hey, have you ever seen those murals that are in London? So thank you to Matco and the Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails. The Unified Special Olympics volleyball team had their game against the London Police Department and the London Division of Fire and EMS. And once again, the Tigers just whooped the LPD, the fire department, and EMS. But I guess it's not about that. It's about getting out there and being part of the community, and that's one thing that our safety services does a great job with, is community outreach, getting out in the community, being part of our community, and doing things like this. And it takes away from their personal time. These guys came in on their personal time. This wasn't something where they're in their uniform and had to come. This was people coming in on their days off to do these kind of things, and it just shows their commitment to the community and to our citizens and also these community groups. Today I was able to participate in the National Day of Prayer at the courthouse. I want to thank all those who were involved with that. Councilwoman Russell, thank you for inviting me to that. Having all these denominations together in the same place was amazing, and it gave you a warm feeling to bring all these people together to pray and pray for the same cause, right? And that's a great thing about our community, is there's a lot of churches here, but they all get along. It's not like they're fighting to take a member from this church to go to this church, right? The sisters got together and said, let's do this thing, and they had representation from almost every church in London, and it was just fantastic. So thank you for that. CGI, if you guys remember, when the past administration was here, they made a video kind of promoting, and when I came in, CGI came back and said, hey, we want to make a new video. So we did that, and we just updated our video again. So they came out, saw everything that's going on here, took a bunch of videos with the schools, Dr. Lou Kramer, the principal of St. Pat's. Tammy had a little thing in it. David Kell, the executive director of the chamber and the CIC, had a little part in it. And it's just to help highlight our city. So when people go to our website and they see this community video, it's just like, hey, this is what's going on. They got it going on. Move here, move your business here, that kind of stuff. So you guys might start seeing that or hear their name come up, and they're working with the city right now, and very excited to get that final product back. Mr. Castle and I have been joining many virtual meetings about the American Rescue Plan, so the ARP. There's a lot to it. We're continuing to learn as much as we can and as fast as they can give us the information. Some of the information, isn't always really there, and we're trying to get as much as we can. So once we get kind of all the final stuff, we'll really start sitting down with everyone and going through this ARP plan. I do want to wish Congressman Steve Stivers the best of luck on his new endeavors. If you haven't heard, he is stepping down as our U.S. Congressman and changing careers. Congressman Stivers and his team have been a great ally a resource and partner to the City of London for many years. So it'll be sad when he leaves, and we hope that we will have the same strong relationship when whoever wins that election for that seat comes in, because they have been fantastic for us, fantastic to me, and fantastic to our city. I do want to remind citizens to cut their grass. We sent out 10 letters today. I know it's raining and grass is popping up fast. I think I mowed yesterday and then mowed this past Sunday, so it is going quick. But just, we ask that people take pride in our city, take pride in your property, and just please make sure that you're getting out there and mowing your yard and making it look as nice as you can. So on to the MOLO Fun Fact, which is number 300. So St. Patrick's had a virtual fundraiser at the school, and they reached out to me and said, hey, we're doing these things where we'd like people to take kids out to lunch or things like that. And I said, well, I have a good relationship with Andy Morris from Cappy's. How about I do a pizza party? And they were like, okay, do a pizza party so they can win it, and then they can donate it to one of the classes at St. Patrick's. So someone actually spent $300 to have me go have a pizza party with a class out there. So one thing I learned is now what my going rate to go out to lunch with me is. So Greg, if you want to go out to lunch, going rate's $300 right now. But it was great. You know, Andy came in, gave 2 of the big, huge pizzas. And when you're in first grade, it was for the first grade class out there, Mrs. Starkey's class. And these kids have never seen these pizzas before. So he comes in with these huge pizzas. They all go crazy. It's just amazing. Then we had lunch. And then Officer Combs and Igor came in for a little bit. And they got to see the dog and learn about that and learn about the city and learn about government. And then we all went outside and played kickball. And I was able to kick some bombs. But I'll tell you what, I thought I did tear my Achilles, but I was okay. But I do want to thank everyone who made that lunch possible. The school, the Cohen family who did donate the $300, you know, Andy Morris at Cappy's, the London Police Department for coming out, because it was just an awesome day and just a wonderful time. And like I said, it's so nice to be able to start getting back into doing these things. You know, we got the school's color runs coming up, the middle school color runs coming up. I'll talk to you guys more about that later. Also, they are going to have the senior parade again at the end of the month like they did last year. So we're really starting to get some of these things back going. And you guys know Rhythm and Rib Fest, 4th of July parade, the fireworks. Like, we're working on hopefully getting 2 or 3 outdoor movies going. So things are treading in the right direction. So that's all I have. Does anyone have anything for me?
I just got this the other night from one of our state senators. Supposedly, the masks are supposed to come off on the 23rd of June, but from what I understand, it may be the end of May. But that's the latest scuttlebutt from the State House. But that's from the governor.
That's good to hear. I'll tell you, I'm too pretty to wear a mask around all
I
the
am
time.
too.
Lots of comments there, but I'm not sure.
All right. Okay, yeah. No comment, Henry, thank you. Anybody else have anything for the administration? Appreciate you guys, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, ready for on to old business, ready for a second reading. Resolution 13921, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 13921, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is our second reading for Resolution 13921, and what it is, it's the extra CARES Act funds that we need to reappropriate so that we can spend it. Did we say what we're going to use it for, or do we know?
I believe the thoughts was as a park bench.
Park bench.
And it's just $1,046. Okay.
Is there emergency clause on that?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, we need there's an emergency clause on this, and I make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll second.
Second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Okay. and a motion to adopt.
So move.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Okay. Motion carries. On to Resolution 14021, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14021, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is just putting money back into the account that she purchased the field groomer with. It is in, we just have to get it. It's in Columbus. XPO has not delivered it.
So as you guys know, when we felt that council was going to do this because we want to start getting these fields ready for softball, we also have t-ball fields we have to take care of, that Tammy went ahead and bought it out of her budget. So it is in. We thought it'd be delivered here, but it is in Columbus, and we either got to go pick it up or arrange for them to drop it off, is what Josh told us at the last meeting. So.
All right. And this is the second reading, so what are our wishes?
I would like to suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll second.
Second, clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to Resolution 14121, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14121, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriation.
Okay, this is legislation for $8,492.17 to be appropriated to the maintenance equipment fund line. Bill, this money that you got from, it's in your part-time salaries?
No,
No, that's
this
not
was, this was money that, he had in open POs.
Open, okay.
And then, so he's closing those POs and then putting that in there for, building repairs,
Okay. So, yeah, he closed out his POs, and this is
the leftover money.
the leftover money, and it's going to be reappropriated for the buildings out there. And once again, I want to encourage people to just go out there and look at the street department building out there. And they've done all of that work, in-house, saved a lot of money, and he's now going to work on the exterior buildings around that need some work. And he'll use the money for this. And I think there's a emergency clause on that.
Yes, there is.
Okay. I make a motion, we suspend 3 reading rule.
I'll second.
Second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
So move.
Second.
Se-
All right. 2 seconds. We'll go with Mr. Hayes on that. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to Resolution 14221, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
The second?
Second, all right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14221, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is the second reading for this. You guys are making me think.
Salt.
The salt.
Salt.
This is our second reading for the appropriation for $15,981.42. This is also money that you had left, right, Bill?
Yeah, it's money that's left on an old salt contract.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yeah.
year it's bid out by the state, so they need to close it out, reappropriate that money, and whatever contract, whoever the contract is.
Because it may be a different person?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think there's an emergency clause on that too, isn't there?
No.
No, there is not.
No. Do we need to move on that? Okay, so we'll leave it on.
All right, we'll leave that one on for a third reading. All right, on to our new business, Resolution 14321, motion to read by title or number,
So moved.
and a second.
I'll second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14321, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is a resolution for $13,000. What had happened is, this was money that was appropriated to, included in the remodeling of the municipal building here, and included in that was to have the hallway floors done, and the contractor that we had cannot do the hallway floors, so we have to reappropriate it to another contractor. It's not new money, it's just money that's out there. And so that's what that is for. And also, I think there's going to be a little bit more left, and there's some additional money that'll be from that, and they're going to use that do some insulation of electric
Electric
for,
Wi-Fi.
electricity for the parks. Merrimack, Howling, and the pool. Okay. And actually, I believe there was like 14,000, the other 1,000 will go back in the capital. I think they only need 13 of it. And I think is there
No, there's no emergency.
no emergency?
Nope.
Is there?
Is it amended or something? There's no,
We got to get to Florida. Yes, yeah. Mhm.
The thing was, we made the PO
Mm.
designated it for a person. So we were intending to do it, but whenever he can't do it, I gotta find somebody else. Then we gotta turn that, close the PO out, reappropriate the money, and then make it again, another PO for the, a different person. So
all right.
I would like for that to be suspended and passed.
Okay.
Since he's already started on the work,
Yeah.
you can see it out there.
Well, it doesn't have an emergency clause on it. But we can suspend the 3 reading rule.
Well, we can amend it to make it emergency.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
we amend it to make it emergency, then it'll
And
go in
then-
effect.
Yeah, and then suspend
We won't have to
it,
wait
then
30
All right,
days,
so we just
correct?
need a motion to amend.
I'll make the motion to amend.
To add the three reading.
Add the emergency.
3 reading rule, I'm sorry.
To add the emergency clause, rather.
Yeah, amend it first.
And a second?
Second.
All right,
Okay.
to amend it, to add the emergency clause. All right,
Correct.
clerk, please take the roll call. for-
Russell?
Yes.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Okay, 14321 has been amended.
I make a motion, we suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Okay, motion carries. On to ordinance 14421, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance number 14421, sponsored by Brenda Russell, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $950,000 for traffic lights, acquisition bonds, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, we have had quite a lot of discussion on the, this $950 plus the $475, but they're,
And it's a emergency clause.
it's emergency, yeah.
Clause because of financing.
Mm-hmm.
To save money for the city to do it sooner than later.
Correct.
The thing when I'm looking at it,
Yeah,
we know we need the LED lights. Everybody knows that. And I don't think I see any here that is where we're dictating what lights are not going to be replaced. Am I correct on that?
I think this is just for the
Yeah,
finance.
so right now, we're only handling the finance.
Finance part, yes.
For what we know needs to be done, we need LED lights.
Correct.
And the funds we're looking at is enough funds, if we need to replace them all, don't
Right,
Okay, yes,
Right.
that's right.
yeah.
So are we all clear on this?
I am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it does have emergency clause. I make a motion, we suspend the three reading rule.
I'll second.
Second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes,
Peters, Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make
moved.
motion to adopt?
second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes,
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. On to ordinance 145-21, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
And a second. Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance number 14521, sponsored by Brenda Russell, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $470,000 fire truck acquisition bonds and declaring an emergency.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, this falls in the same category. Do we need some discussion? Any further discussion on this one?
So what's, if we eliminate lights and there's a less cost for lights and truck,
It'll
where
go back.
does that money just stay in that, or it's a loan amount?
We could pay the loan off early.
Any money that's left over, it'll be up to us to decide whether we want to pay down the loan, if we just pay it right back and pay it down, no penalty for paying early, we do that. Or if there's another project that you want to use the funds for, that you can pay for, maybe a truck or something, I'll throw that out there. You could, council could approve, make a resolution to, buy another truck and appropriate the money and use the funds.
So there's no stipulations that,
No stipulations at all.
Right, because it is a loan. And then if you were able to use the funds that are left over from the traffic lights, then you would still realize a really low interest rate for anything else that you would purchase if you did not use the money to pay the loan back down.
Is this, correct me, is this the one that had a 1.4% interest?
1.8.
1.8% interest rate.
Great interest
That is
rate.
low.
One on it.
That is the interest rate that he put up all the documentation on. He put it out to 75 different loaning institutions. His hope is if we get the bidding war, we get a better rate.
Did he check with local banks? Do you know? You don't know what banks he's dealing with? I just know some of the local banks have worked very hard for us and other departments. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, we should take a higher rate by any means. I just would like to make sure that he is at least giving him an opportunity, to see what they could do for us.
I think that was brought up when we talked.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you would, please, I'd appreciate it. And again, I still want us to take whatever's the best rate.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, there's an emergency clause on that. I make a motion, we suspend the three reading rule.
I'll second it.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes,
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt.
yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt?
A second?
Clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
yes,
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 145-21 is adopted. On to resolution 146-21, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution resolution 14621, sponsored by Anthony Smith. A resolution authorizing the Board of Public Utilities to enter into a contract and purchase a cargo van.
This is just the water department, just like a lot of our departments. And when I say this, I want it to be understood, it's not meant disrespectful. Other councils and previous have just pushed them as far as, a lot of them could go. And I think we do the same thing in our other equipment. We stretch it as long as we possibly can. Just unfortunately, at this time, they need to upgrade them. I thought he was doing 2, so I investigated everything for him to purchase 2. He's only asking for the 1. Again, if it did not go to finance, does anybody know if it went to finance?
I advised them that it didn't need to go to finance because he's paying it out of the already approved budget.
Right.
Finance has already approved the money.
Right, yeah.
There's really no need for it to go to the financing.
Yeah, and so actually, so even the way I looked at it is, yeah, so it would be even better because that would mean that that money was already appropriated. I looked at the actual physical money coming into his account, and he has enough to purchase 2. And I don't think he's getting a loan. I think he's just purchasing them, isn't he? Yeah, he's just purchasing. So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right, any questions? All right, what are your wishes?
like to suspend the 3 reading rule for 14621.
Okay,
Second.
all right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, resolution 14621 is adopted. Resolution 14721, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14721, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract.
Okay, this is just a resolution giving our Safety Service Director authority to go into a contract to purchase the fire truck not to exceed $440,000. Is this just for him to go into the contract? And there is an emergency clause on this.
Correct.
Any questions? I make a motion we suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll second.
Second, all right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters.
Okay. Motion carries. On to resolution 14821, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14821, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract.
This is a resolution giving the Safety Service Director authorization to go into a contract concerning the traffic lights not to exceed $900,000.
Okay,
I believe it's.
as we discussed before, any further questions on that? All right, what are your wishes?
It has an emergency clause. I move to suspend.
A second.
Second, all right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, 14821 is adopted. On to ordinance 14921, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Okay. Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 14921, sponsored by Rich Hayes, an ordinance amending 1240 of the codified ordinances.
Basically, what we're doing here, we're just defining different types of fences, in particular, an ornamental fence. It's constructed for its beauty or decorative effect when viewed at right angles, including the outline of all parts of the fence in its vertical plane. Has an open face area of at least 30%. Ornamental fence shall not include farm fence, chain link, or a privacy fence. Ornamental fence shall include but not limited to rail or split rail fence, picket fence, aluminum, iron, or steel fence, masonry fence. So basically, have a lot of people come in and they ask what an ornamental fence is, so we're just making it very plain and simple.
Hey, Henry?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
this is one of the things Rex and I have been working on. So the Board of Zoning Appeals, a lot of their stuff is to deal with ornamental fences that they always pass because it's just not defined right. It's one of these things that we're finding that needs to be changed. And there's going to be more of these to come. Another one will be lot coverage that we'll be bringing to you guys. And another one will be, if you live on a corner, you quote unquote have, is it how's it explained? Two frontages. Two frontages, okay? So you can only put certain stuff in the front of your house, right? So if somebody wants to put a privacy fence up in their backyard and they live on a corner, they can't do it because you can't put that in, that's a frontage. So it's just kind of, you know how it is. We've been doing these for 5 years now. We find stuff that's outdated, that don't make sense, that needs to be changed. And this is just one of probably many that'll come, which will definitely ease up the job of the Board of Zoning Appeals, as well as the Planning Commission, who gets these things read. People have to spend money and come back in for a variance when it shouldn't even be in there. So this is just one of many that'll start coming to you guys on that.
Oh, yeah, we need to get that in.
There's no emergency ordinance on this, but do you need it? Okay.
So in the example of a corner lot, if someone wants to put up a privacy fence, I guess the privacy fence not included, does that need to be in this amendment?
No, that's gonna be on separate, that's gonna be a whole different one. We're thinking.
So we're thinking that how we'll define your frontage will be whatever road your address is,
Yeah.
right? And that's how we're going to define frontage. Now, you'll still have to do your setbacks and everything so people can see around everything and all that. But that has nothing to do with this one. This is just, we want to make defining ornamental fences more clear. I mean, whatever you guys want to do, but if you want to suspend and pass, I don't think people are going to come yell about how we're defining ornamental fences. But it's up to you guys.
Well, I think we need to just suspend it and pass it in case somebody does go to. Because they go, and if this is not explained, then, it just creates, when it's just we're explaining something, making it clear, making zoning's board jobs a lot easier.
Just get it defined.
Yes, just get it defined and set to go. So I say we suspend the 3 reading rule.
Variance costs $150.
Yes, $150.
Somebody has to do something.
Wow.
The fencing, they have to pay $150.
Mhm.
It has to go in the newspaper, everybody,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then they have to come and the Board of Zoning Appeals to come.
Mhm.
Yes, you can do it because, yes, it's more expensive.
All right. So
I'll
we have
make-
a motion.
I'll make the motion to amend to make this an emergency ordinance.
Can we get a second?
A
Second.
Okay. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt.
Yes.
Okay. Can we get a motion to suspend?
I'll make the motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
Okay. And a motion to adopt.
I'll make the motion to adopt.
And a second.
Second.
All right. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters, Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
All right. 14921 is adopted. On to Resolution 15021, a motion to be read by title or number.
So moved.
The second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 15021, sponsored by Henry Comer, a resolution authorizing an assignment of a community reinvestment area agreement.
Okay. This is the property located where Taco Bell is at. They have sold. They are currently under a CRA agreement with the city for 50% tax abatement for 10 years. Let's see here, this began in 2016, so there's about 5 years left on it, and they want to transfer that to the new owner so that they can realize those benefits there. And if you do have any questions or anything, we have Mr. Eric Lafleur here this evening, and you currently own Triple Play?
Correct.
Okay, anyone have any questions, or is there anything you'd like to add to that, or?
The new ownership will keep the same structure as far as his employees.
Okay,
You're not gonna miss a beat.
okay, all right,
Great city, I've been doing this for 40 years.
all right,
Got a number of friends that have died recently, and it's time to just maybe do something different.
okay. And we definitely appreciate you bringing Taco Bell
Well,
to,
you guys, again, I've done this a long time. I've
Yeah.
been to a lot of city council meetings.
uh-huh.
You're a pretty efficient city at what you do.
Well, thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you for just the idea to bring that here to London. We appreciate that as well.
I think the biggest thing is to bring it to the west side.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Something that
Yep.
we worked on when I was on.
Well, I killed myself by, I had to close the one down here because this one crushed it, but it's still.
Oh, wow.
But bringing it to the west end, we're
Yep.
working. And
Yeah.
people are working down at the strip mall. We're trying to really start working on that west end. And the Taco Bell and that Speedway were, the anchor.
Anchors, definitely.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so this has emergency clause here. Let's see here. Yep, it has an emergency clause.
Make the motion to suspend the three reading rule.
Second.
Okay, a second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters? Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Okay. Resolution 15021 is adopted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, on to roundtable.
Thanks, sir.
We did. And I'm so, yeah, and I thought the same thing. I thought, what if we could have made your resolution higher on the list? All right, on to roundtable. Mrs. Russell.
I just want to thank everyone who was here with their concerns and concerning traffic signals. A few things were brought up that I hadn't thought of, and that's what communication is all about. Somebody may think it's something that we don't think of, so they need to bring it here. And Mr. Boyd, that excess traffic on Lafayette, it goes all the way past Bob Evans, so I don't know if that's that light or.
One whole minute, you can get off of it, you go into Kroger's, go all the way around and get into with the green light. So,
Okay. Okay, well, if that would work, you need to whip it in gear. Okay, don't forget our finance meeting will be May 10th.
All right, thank you. Mr. Robinson.
I just want to reiterate what everybody said. A lot of times people come in here and everything is public, and we are here to represent everyone in the city. The city has done a great job putting the information out on the internet. It's on the city's website. Everything is on there. All our meetings, our committee meetings, our city meetings. Please come out here and voice your opinion like you did tonight. There's no way we can make decisions for everyone if we don't know what you're thinking. We don't want to hear about it after the fact, as trying to say that as nicely as possible, but we want to make sure that everything is addressed as it comes across the board. I really appreciate everyone coming out here. The communication was great, just to see what everyone's ideas are and how we can make everything better. And that's the whole reason why we're here, is to make the city better. So I just want to appreciate everybody that comes out. Please, please visit the websites, get the information, make yourself present, and make your thoughts known. So that's June 3rd, public service.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes.
Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Like I say, I concur with my fellow council members' viewings and thoughts on tonight's meeting. I'd like to thank all the city workers. Job great, well done, every one of you. I think I earned my money tonight. We got a great city. I think things are starting to turn, and we get these stupid masks off in another month. And I'm sorry I said stupid. We get these masks off, man, ain't nothing gonna hold us back. I mean, summer's coming. Let's kick it. Safety meeting, May 11th, 6 o'clock, conference room. Everybody that'd like to come, we'd love to have you there, have your input. Don't be a stranger. Come see us, talk to us. We can only help you if you help us. So outside that, I think that's all I've got. God bless you all. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. Mr. Hitt.
Yeah, appreciate everyone's comments tonight. I guess something that occurs to me is taxpayers are paying tax money, and some of that tax money should be going for city improvements. So, I mean, certainly we're not, we're frugal with the taxpayers' money, and that's important, but I also appreciate council administration trying to make improvements in the city with taxpayers' money. And so we're just trying to improve the city with their tax money, so.
All right. Thank you. Mrs. Blazer?
I'd like to concur with my fellow members. I really appreciate people coming out, because I know the questions that you have. There's probably about 100 people in the city that have the same questions, but don't have the courage to come ask about them, and I know how hard it is the first time you get up and speak here. It does get easier, so if you return. But, I mean, we need to know what you guys think, so that we can do what you hired us to do, what you voted us in to do. So we really appreciate that. Also, everybody still try to stay safe. Remember our discussion last meeting about safe sleep for infants. There's information everywhere. If you need information, I'm sure the mayor, the fire chief, or myself, you can give us a call. Okay. Give us a call, email us. We'd be glad to discuss it and explain it better, and be nice.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Like to thank all the council members. I thought everyone did a great job answering questions. Really want to thank Sisters in the Lord, which Brenda's a part of. I thought the National Day of Prayer was phenomenal. I thought it was great seeing all the different denominations coming together, praying for our military, praying for our president, praying for, our local and state representatives, and going to, not just one side of the aisle, but praying for all sides. I thought was great, and then praying for our local teachers, kids, police, EMTs, fire, everything I thought was great. So I just want to say a big thank you to them. So that's all I have.
All right. And I'd like to just also thank Steve Stivers for all of the work that he's done for us and working with us. He's shown a real concern for seeing the growth of our city. So I really appreciate that. Get to see everyone out tonight. And I did prepare a little something for this evening, and I think it's fitting. And I wrote this. I didn't just now write this. So many of these legislative items that we are currently bringing are moving the city forward. Many of the items have been overlooked or pushed aside and kicked down the block, when in actuality they should have been handled, tackled, and challenged face to face. Every day we are working hard to allow for community reinvestment, expansion, improvement of business relations, replace failing infrastructure, equipment, and vehicles that have been neglected. During our legislative years, we will be making the city a lot better than it was when we began, ensuring that we have a better chance to become an even stronger city in the future. So I would like to give a thanks to all the departments, police, fire, street, sanitation, city offices, as well as the legislative officials, and most importantly, the community, for continuing to work tirelessly to improve the city of London. Thank you all. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Make motion to adjourn.